Hola, hola a todos nuestros oyentes de Católicos por el Mundo, un espacio que hemos creado desde la Oficina de Relaciones Internacionales e Interinstitucionales y el Instituto de Lenguas. En este podcast podrán conocer oportunidades de movilidad, experiencias internacionales, testimonios e información relevante y de actualidad. Hoy estaremos con nuestras asistentes de idiomas hablando sobre su experiencia viviendo en Colombia, los retos que han enfrentado y lo que se llevan viviendo una experiencia intercultural en América Latina. No se lo pierdan.
Hola a todos, gracias por estar hoy con nosotras. Yo soy Olivia.
Y soy Aisha, y hoy vamos a hablar un poco sobre nuestra estancia en Colombia, los altibajos que hemos vivido, los viajes que hemos emprendido y lo que nos vamos a llevar de esta experiencia.
Y lo vamos a hacer en inglés para que vayan escuchando, aprendiendo un poco y pues vamos a intentar hablar despacio para ustedes.
Bueno, arrancamos. Olivia, y en inglés. Olivia, what has been the easiest aspect of moving to Colombia?
Easiest aspect, I would say I was very lucky because I already spoke Spanish, so that made things a lot easier. We were really lucky that the university helped us with various processes such as opening a bank account, getting our cedulas. So that was very kind of them. And in general, you know, Colombians are so friendly, so that definitely helps. What about you?
Yeah, I would definitely agree that meeting people and making friends was super easy just because, yeah, it's such like an open culture and friendly people, and the university really helped us. So that was definitely helpful. And what would you say has been the most challenging aspect of moving to Colombia?
I think for me it has to be the location. It was my first time living outside of Europe. So I think both knowing that I was so far from home and just logistically with the time difference, kind of knowing that if I wanted to speak with my family, I had to do it before, say, 3 p.m. But that's something that you quickly get used to. And my family are actually coming out next week. So that's definitely helping. What about you? Most challenging?
I think, yeah, I also found the location a bit difficult, you know, Bogota weather, the rain, and also just settling into a big city and finding an apartment was more difficult than I thought. I would say also for me, I arrived with quite basic Spanish, it felt like, and I hadn't spoken Spanish in, 4 years. So I couldn't really understand anyone or communicate. And that was a bit tricky. But yeah.
Yeah, also for me, I mean, I spoke Spanish, but I learned Spanish from Spain. And so sometimes it felt like I didn't speak Spanish at all. I mean, Colombian Spanish is definitely, something that it's worth looking into vocabulary, but I think it's a really nice type of Spanish. So that's been definitely one of my positive experiences, was learning kind of Colombian vocabulary slang. And what do you think you'll miss at the end of this year? Sorry.
I think I'll really miss the friends that I've made here, both like Colombians from different countries, also even English friends, and also all the amazing places to visit. Like, it's been so cool to be able to go away for like 2 days, 3 days on the weekend and be in a completely different area with like different words, different climate, different food. It just feels like Colombia basically has 100 different countries inside of one country, which is super different to the UK in terms of diversity of, nature, landscapes, customs. So I've really enjoyed that. What about you?
Yeah, I would say the exact same. For me, like the travel opportunities, I feel like in the UK, to get anywhere, you need to maybe take a train. They're so expensive. And I feel like what I love about Colombia is that people don't plan. I think I love that. People are spontaneous. If you decide to go to a town or a city, you just rock up at the bus station and get your bus. Whereas in the UK, you need to book a ticket weeks in advance. It's often all online. I just feel like Colombians are a lot more willing to do things at the last minute, which is nice. Spontaneity. And despite your positive experience, is there anything that you kind of miss from the UK that you're looking forward to finding again?
I think similar to you in that I just really miss my friends and family. You know, it's a long time to be away from home in a different culture, in a different language, and sometimes you just really miss the people who are close to you, and also home comforts. Like there's a lot of ingredients I like cooking with that either cost so much money here or are impossible to find. Like I remember even something random like orange lentils. I spent so long trying to find them, and I would go to like Extra or De Uno, and the people would, I'd be like showing a picture, they'd be like, no, it doesn't exist. Like they'd show me all the like green lentils. So stuff like that, I think I've had to like change some of my recipes and foods, and that because I'm vegetarian and Olivia's vegan can sometimes be a bit sad. But you know, we've also found lots of new foods here and like lots of different fruit and vegetables. So it's definitely not all bad. What about you?
Yeah, I would agree. I think the important thing is to come here open-minded, willing to try new ingredients, because if you come and you hope to make all the same recipes and meals that you like in the UK, you're going to be, you know, very disappointed because, like you said, you can't find a lot of the food that we eat in the UK, different spices, or you just pay a lot, you know, because they're imported. So definitely, yeah, advice to anyone coming, be open-minded, try new food, and it'll be better for you, cheaper. You have such an incredible variety of, you know, fruit here as well, fruit, vegetables. Colombians, I think, sometimes don't realize how lucky they are when I tell them that all our fruit is imported and expensive. Doesn't taste as good. So yeah, what about your favorite place that you have traveled to in Colombia?
This is a difficult question to answer because there's so many nice places that I've been lucky enough to visit. I would say one that's really surprised me is like the Boyacá pueblitos, because they're so close, and maybe not as touristy as other places in Colombia, or you don't hear about them before you come. But places like Monguí, I loved, also Villavia, like so beautiful, going into the paramos. Like I planted some, you know, frailejones, all of that kind of thing. And just, I don't know, I've done some really good tours there or met really nice people. And so I think that's, yeah, I really enjoyed. And then I would also have to say when I arrived, I went to the Petronio Alvarez Festival in Cali. And that was incredible because I just couldn't believe it. It was so different to anything I'd ever like been to before. It was free. I went with friends, but I met lots of people. And so that was, yeah, it was in August just after I arrived. And I was like, I cannot believe I get to live in this country for a year. I was so excited.
Nice. I actually went to Cali for the first time like a week ago and also thought it was such a cool city, such friendly people. The nightlife was amazing. But I didn't like the mosquitoes. So I think that's a bonus point for Bogota is kind of the lack of insects, the cool climate, which you don't appreciate until you're eaten alive. What about outside of Colombia? Have you had the chance while you're in Colombia to maybe experience more of Latin America in general?
I went to Mexico over Christmas and I really loved it. It was all in the Yucatan Peninsula, so quite touristy, but amazing food. Met some like such nice Mexicans as well. So I really enjoyed it, and hopefully when I finish with the university, I'll be able to travel a little bit more. But who knows? What about you?
Nice. Yeah, I went not for long, but I went to Peru in October, just for a week to see a friend that was in Lima, and so cool. I think at that point I was kind of familiar enough with Colombia to kind of brave another country. And yeah, amazing food. So good. Lomo saltado. Oh, so yummy. But I was kind of relieved to get back to Bogota, which was a strange sensation because I hadn't kind of expected to miss Bogota as much as I did, which was nice. And what kind of advice would you give someone considering moving perhaps to this side of the world, to Colombia?
Just do it, I would say. What about you?
Same, go for it, be open-minded. Learn Spanish is a necessity over here. I know lots of British people go to Spain and they say kind of una cerveza and that's it. And people speak English, but unfortunately in Colombia, I think Spanish will kind of help you a lot. It's definitely a necessity. And just before we finish, one kind of favourite moment for you?
I think my favourite moment would be hanging out with some Colombian friends here. and we all cooked different meals. So like one person cooked a soup, one person cooked main course. I did like a dessert, and we were just listening to music all day, chatting. We like planted some plants in the garden to do like a big meal in the future. And it was just, I think it was not like a crazy day or anything, but I just felt really at home. It was like the first time I was like, I feel really at home in Colombia with like my Colombian friends. And that was so nice. And yeah, also just speaking Spanish is like very exciting for me to feel like I can communicate well with people, because I definitely didn't feel like that before. And yeah, just, you know, knowing that I've met people here I'll stay in contact with and be good friends with forever is very exciting. What about you?
I would have to say Barranquilla. I went a few weeks ago for Carnival, and it was just insane. Like the crowds, the people, dancing with friends, strangers, and street parties. It's definitely a memory that will stay with me.
Cool memory.
Cool memory, indeed. Pues en español vamos a terminar. Entonces, muchas gracias a todos por escucharnos hoy. Por su tiempo, y pues esperemos que sigan conectados al podcast Católicas por el Mundo. Habrá nuevos episodios, entonces pues queden atentos.
Sí, gracias, chao.
Goodbye.